It is baseball time in Southern California. Cactus League action continues here at the Big A. Both Southern California teams return to their homes, if you will. The Freeway Series, the spring training edition, kicks off here at the Big A. It's game one of this three-game set. We welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. So glad to bring you Angels baseball once again here in 2018. And with 2018 and baseball means new faces as far as the Angels are concerned. And we talked about Shohei Ohtani quite a bit during the offseason, but he's not the only new face on this Angels ball club.
Well, really all started, Victor, too, with Billy Albert able to bring Justin Upton back. He could have opted out and left and gone somewhere else, but Justin Upton being back in this lineup, batting at number 3 spot behind Mike Trout in front of Albert Pujols. So important for this continuity in this offense. 35 home runs last season, 44 doubles. That's 79 extra base hits for Justin Upton, 109 RBI for J-Up. He also hit the ball very well. We saw in spring training going the other way. He has great power there with a little lower fence in right center field. You might see something special there. Speaking of special players, a guy that before, when he faced the Angels, you didn't necessarily love, but when you see him with that Angel red on, you're going to love him. Over 230 career home runs, 225 career stolen bases. So he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, he can steal bases. We saw him on display a lot as far as running the bases in spring training. A Gold Glover also. Speaking of guys that can win a Gold Glove too, the All-Star Zach Cozart, last season 24 home runs, 40 home runs. Last 2 seasons, when you think about 82 in his career, he's really turned it on. That launch angle enabled him to drive the ball out of the ballpark. A great defender, going to be playing third base, but also could spell Anderson Simmons at short, and Ian Kinsler at second base. So versatility now with some power with Zach Cozart at third base.
You mentioned premium defender, and that's one of the things that Billy Epler certainly keyed on in this offseason to go along with Martin Maldonado and Andrelton Simmons. So the pitching staff should be very content as far as the defense is concerned. Speaking of pitching, it's Parker Bridwell. He had the 10 wins last year for the Angels. He was spectacular. He's had a rough spring. He's on the mound tonight in the opener of this Freeway Series. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Line up some first pitch when we return.
Lexus. The Freeway Series is driven by your Southern California Lexus dealers. By Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Mazda, driving matters.
Welcome back out to the Big A, the opener of this Freeway Series. And you always know when this thing kicks off, you're a little bit closer to opening day. And for the Angels, that occurs on Thursday in Oakland, the beginning of a 4-game series. Let's take a look at the Los Angeles Dodgers starting lineup. There's the skipper, Dave Robertson. What a season the Dodgers had last year, 104 and 58. And a lot of regulars in this lineup for him. Chris Taylor will lead things off at center. It's Corey Seager in short. Yasiel Puig in right field. Cody Bellinger, the reigning Rookie of the Year in the National League, is at first base. Matt Kemp, the one-time Dodger, is back. He's DHing tonight. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Jock Peterson in left field. Logan Forsythe subbing for the injured Justin Turner at third. And it's Kike Hernandez rounding out that starting 9. He'll play second base. Parker Bridwell on the mound, 10-3 last year. An ERA of 3.64. And Gooby last season came out of nowhere after being acquired from the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, he was outstanding. He doesn't give you a chance to really go through a whole lineup, but he doesn't waste time getting on that mound. He doesn't waste time in between pitches, which you love to see. My go-tos for Parker Bridwell to be successful like he was last year with that 10 wins is get some quick outs and utilize that break a ball away to be able to get another quick swing and miss. But he's a guy that works so fast.
Taylor has a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And going back to my go-tos for Parker Bridwell, get those quick outs and use that cutter in, especially against some of those left-handed swingers on this Dodger lineup. Cut it in. We saw that successful against them in the World Series when you're able to do so.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bridwell, 26-year-old from Hereford, Texas, just outside of Amarillo. Acquired by the Angels April 17th from the Orioles last season for a player to be named later. He had one heck of a run, so good, in fact, that the Angels, his start, 17-3. He was just so consistent for the Angels in that rotation. Breaking ball, lofted foul and out of play.
And he's had a tough spring, but his last time out, Victor, went into the 6th inning, but the first 5 innings, dominated. Great stuff. Quick outs. His break ball was very good. And a lot of times you talk about certain pitchers and they say, well, there's a lot of contact made, but a lot of soft contact made against Parker Bridwell last season and certainly that last time out.
I gave up 3 runs on 7 hits in 5 2/3. Taylor fouls this one back. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Dodger center fielder. Speaking of consistency, you talk about a kid that had a breakout year and was consistent throughout. It was Chris Taylor, 27-year-old Virginia native. 288 last year, 21 home runs, 72 runs batted in.
And a lot of big hits and home runs in the postseason, that magical run for the Dodgers last year.
He punches this one out to right field, and he's back doing what he did so well last year. Leadoff single for Taylor, man on with Seager coming up. Take a look at the defense for the Angels. It's very familiar. The starters are out there. Upton, Trout, and Calhoun from left to right. Cozart, Simmons, Kinsler, and Pujols from third to first. Martin Maldonado behind the dish.
And Martin Maldonado is the 3rd Gold Glove winner ever in that position for the Angels. Behind the plate, first Gold Glove for him. Get an opportunity to play every day, and he was absolutely outstanding last season behind the dish.
Seager will take a strike. 295 last season. 22 home runs, 77 runs batted in. There's some concerns at the end of last year with his throwing arm. Everything seems to be all right this year, this spring anyway. No balls, 2 strikes.
One thing unusual, that first pitch fastball against Seager. He is a guy that with outstanding numbers on the very first pitch he sees. Took that first one now behind 0-2, and we saw last season, especially in the postseason, pitchers threw him a lot of breaking balls between Bellinger and Seager, down and in off the plate. You wonder if Parker Bridwell will do the same here. 0-2 count.
Not a big lead for Taylor at first. Leadoff single for him, and there's that breaking ball you were talking about. 1-2 count. Bridwell very good at holding base runners. Did not allow an opponent stolen base last year.
He's not allowed a stolen base against him in the major league level. That's impressive. Did allow one in spring training. That stopped the presses there for a while.
That doesn't count. It's spring training. The record still holds. Most consecutive starts without allowing stolen base set a new Angels record last year. 20 starts, breaking Tommy John's record that he set between 82 and 83.
Tommy John did a lot of other things besides being named after that surgery, that's for sure. Was a great pitcher.
A lot of kids today would have no idea about that.
Tommy John, that's the surgery,
You mean
right?
he was a pitcher? What does that mean? Off speed away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Socha flashing the signs. Been around a long time. Took him a little while to get home last night. A little bit of a long game to finish up the
slightly
Arizona leg of the spring training schedule. Full count now on Seager.
Well, the unusual thing for Bridwell right here, 13 pitches. He averaged a little over 14 pitches per inning the entire season last year.
Taylor's on the move. Twig on that. We'll check in on it. 6 o'clock start. I don't have too many of these. Usually they are starting at 6 or thereabouts. We're sitting at home watching them because it's a nationally televised game. But you know, you get to Southern California, you get to your respective homes, and you want to play night games to kind of get a feel for the stadium and the lights. There's so many day games in Arizona. That's out towards center field. Hit well. Travels playing deep. Will move over and make the catch. Taylor back to first, 1 away.
By the way, how outstanding does this stadium look? The new scoreboards. This already was a beautiful stadium. It really looks good right now.
They've made some serious investment in the scoreboards, video boards in right field, including the out-of-town scoreboard on the right field wall. We'll talk about that as well with the new home run line in right field. And you've got the video board out and left beyond the bullpens as well.
One right field, the 3rd largest in Major League Baseball.
Yasiel Puig, right fielder. Takes a strike.
That's a good fastball for Bidwell at 94. Right on that outside corner. Generally be a guy who will always get ahead of the count 0-1.
Was there anything that you've seen throughout spring that you noticed Parker doing different? 6 games. This is his 7th game, 4th start as far as the Cactus League schedule is concerned.
Yeah, the one thing you mentioned is his 4th start. He pitched a lot out of the bullpen. You saw him doing that, and he was accustomed last season with the Angels starting. So I think when you think of Parker Bridwell, he's a guy that's going to get some contact made against him. And when that quick infield's in Arizona and the baseball carrying well, I think that affected his overall numbers. But for the most part, he was still the same guy. He's still attacking the strike zone, working quickly, putting the ball in play. But that baseball in play in Arizona is a little bit different than you're going to see during the regular season. We talk about the depth. I mean, he's starting the season down in AAA, but there's some depth in there, and you're going to need that during the course of the season with the starting rotation, even though it's going to start out be a 6-man rotation.
3 balls and a strike. Well, we've used that word depth quite a bit over the last 3 years.
Tell you what, looking at some of those younger players playing in the game yesterday, very impressive.
Four members of the rotation on your screen a moment ago as Puig fouls this one off. Full count.
And they've all bit into the conversation about a 6-man rotation. Well, granted, they didn't do that in spring. It was always generally going on their 5th day. But there's been some injury history with every number of the players in the rotation right now for the Angels. So they've realized the bottom line is they want to win. And if everyone can stay healthy, everyone's going to be better. There'll be some off days where you'll skip that potential 6th starter, but they love what's going on right now.
Well, it looks like even with the setback, if you will, that Andrew Heaney has had here for the last 10 days or thereabouts, that he more than likely will start the season on the disabled list. You don't need a 5th starter or 6th starter, if you will, until a couple of weeks in. I think it's in Kansas City when the Angels are there a couple weeks into the season.
And that's a perfect look right there. He's got a smile on his face. He's feeling a lot better of late.
Taylor takes off, and the 3-2 pitch outside. So Puig works the walk, and the Dodgers have a couple of men on with Cody Bellinger stepping up.
And more than likely with Andrew Heaney, if everything continues to go well as far as getting that throwing program back, he had a number of starts where he's already stretched out anyhow. More than likely, you can pencil him potentially at the latest. April 12th will be his start where he'd settle in if not beforehand. And I'll tell you what, he was throwing the ball very well. I saw him a couple times in Tempe. He was throwing the ball 94, 95, made that adjustment on the first base side of the pitching rubber and looked really, really good.
Bellinger takes a breaking ball for a strike, and he saw a bevy of breaking balls as the season progressed and into the postseason last year. But what a year this young man had for the Dodgers last year.
Crazy power he has. And a rookie of the year.
97 runs batted in, 39 home runs. Snap throw to second base on a back pick. Perhaps if that throws on the shortstop side, maybe they got a better chance, but Taylor alertly gets back.
And even sometimes when you don't get the runner, you're shortening up his lead. So just in case Bellinger gets a base hit in the outfield, you have a better chance to potentially throw him out of the plate because of that quick throw from Maldonado to shorten up that secondary lead.
0-2 count on Bellinger. Breaking ball, and Pujols with a diving stop. Bridwell covering, and they get out number 2, and it saves a run.
There's a man that's won a couple Gold Gloves. He has said he's going to play anywhere between 100 and 120 potential games at first base. And Albert Pujols showing very good range there on that dive. Parker Bridwell right at first base to receive that throw from Albert Pujols. Gets down there, that good position, that prep step to be able to make that play on the dive. Perfect feed for Bridwell to save a run. Billy Epler said that a bunch of run preventers on this defense, and that's one right there for Albert Pujols.
Taylor over at third base, Puig at second, 2 outs. Here's Matt Kemp, DHing tonight. Now 33 years of age. Last year with the Atlanta Braves at 276, 19 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Once upon a time, a 6th round pick of the Dodgers. Back in 03.
Well, he's got himself in real good shape this season for the Dodgers. When they made that deal with Atlanta, thought they were just going to have him for a short period of time, trying to move him once again. But he's put up some good numbers. He's in great shape. He's been pretty solid, according to Dave Roberts, out in the outfield when he's played left field.
Straight up money deal. Scott Kazmir, Brandon McCarthy, Adrian Gonzalez, Charlie Culberson, part of that deal going to Atlanta. Matt with a couple of years left on his contract, this and next.
Adrian Gonzalez already wearing a different uniform with the New York Mets.
Metropolitans. Meet the Mets. Three balls, no strikes. Long top of the first for Bridwell. Sharply hit the short, and there's Simba.
There's some more gold in the infield.
Bridwell gets into some trouble, gets out of it. Defense helping him out. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Halos. Take a look at that new look lineup when we return. this spring training freeway series, and we mentioned a new look lineup, and it will start with Ian Kinsler, new acquisition from the Detroit Tigers. He'll lead things off, play second. Trout, of course, batting second, playing center. Justin Upton's in left. Albert Pujols, the cleanup hitter, at first. Cole Calhoun's had an amazing spring training. Hopefully carries over to the regular season. He's in right field. Zach Cozart, the new third baseman. Luis Valbuena getting to start at DH. It's Angel Simmons at shortstop. And Martin Maldonado batting ninth and doing the catching as they take on the 29-year-old right-hander native of Osaka, Japan. It's Kenta Maeda.
Yeah, Maeda, a solid season last year, both as a starter and out of the bullpen. 13-game winner. My go-tos to be successful against him today is look for his fastball. Doesn't throw a ton of them. Look for that fastball and hit that mistake slider. It's a very good one. So when it hits the plate, that's when you got to attack it. Do not expand the zone against him.
13-game winner last season for the Dodgers. Kinsler swinging first pitch, pops it up on the first base side. Bellinger. He might have room, and he does. Near the railing, one down. Defensively for the Dodgers, behind Maeda, you've got Peterson, Taylor, and Puig in the outfield from left to right. The infield was fourth side, Seager, Hernandez, and Bellinger from third to first. Grandal behind the plate.
Yasiel Puig with 4 outfield assists last season in right field, 15 back in 2014, which led the National League in that category. Not running against him as much anymore. Many people believe he was a Gold Glove winner. Did not win that out in the National League last year, but an outstanding defensive season for Yasiel Puig last year for the Dodgers.
Trout takes outside for ball one. 114 games a season ago. Thumb injury that occurred at Marlins Park. Diving into second base cost him a good chunk of the season. Cost him perhaps his best offensive season, if that's possible. He was off to just an incredible start.
Comes into camp this season, and you always ask him what are you going to try to work on. He's going to work on his defense and cut down on his strikeouts. Well, it took him a long time to get his first strikeout in spring just the other day.
Only after everybody started talking about the fact that he hadn't struck out in spring training, but
we'll blame that on Terry
neither
Smith.
Here nor there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Or Jeff Fletcher from the Orange County Register, he mentioned it too, so that was his fault.
Trout still managed 33 home runs, drove in 72 last year, while hitting .306. Two balls, 2 strikes. I mentioned Maeda, how valuable he became for the Dodgers, especially out of the bullpen down the stretch, and more specifically in the postseason. 9 appearances in the postseason. 2-0, had a .84 ERA for Dave Roberts.
And he wasn't afraid to put him in back-to-back games after multi-inning performances too.
Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think it's easier for a guy like Kenta, that's not an overpowering presence, to be able to transition back and forth from a rotation to the bullpen.
I think so, especially because of his feel for his breaking ball. And he will throw a lot of sliders. He can throw that in and a righty, bring it on the inside corner, or going down and away.
Jam Trout.
And he's not a guy that's a full max throw, where you, in other words, you try to throw as hard as you can, whether it's to break a ball or fastball. He's a guy that will finesse corners and get hitters to swing at non-strikes, and that's why he was able to make that transition.
Perfect example, last pitch. That 91-mile-per-hour fastball looks like it's 95 because of the slow stuff away, I'd imagine.
I was generally backing up a base if I threw one right like that. Or asking for a new baseball.
Jam shot flare to second. Hernandez is there, 2 down. Went back inside with that fastball.
See, a lot of times when you're looking at and facing Maeda, you're looking to break a ball. He's able to go inside with that fastball and jam Trout. We saw that a number of times. A lot of pitchers were trying to pitch Trout inside it. We saw some good swings on fastballs in, but every pitcher goes through a series of scouting reports of how to face certain batters. And Mike Trout right now, it's look like it's going back to that fastball in. Mark my word, Victor, I think you're going to see a lot more fastballs in period around baseball because of the launch angle and people hitting the ball in the air and home runs. More difficult to hit a home run on a fastball belt high and in.
It seems like that part of it is Upton takes a strike because it just every year there's something that changes, right? One side makes the adjustment, so the other side kind of goes the other way. Sinker ballers was, if you were a sinker baller, it was in vogue, right? Everybody wanted to throw a sinker to get the ground balls first time, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden launch angle changed, so nobody throws a sinker anymore. Everybody throws four-seam fastball.
Because contact is made on that lower part of the strike zone pitch. It's very difficult to get hitters to swing and miss at the knees like that. And that's when you create that launch angle, hit home runs. So now you're seeing pitchers going up and in and high four-seam fastball. We even saw with Charlie Morton what he did in the postseason for the Astros against the Dodgers. He was a ground ball pitcher, went to a four-seamer, successful.
And it's also why it almost seems like the rash of guys wearing the face guard on the helmet. Giancarlo Stanton, of course, for obvious reasons, started wearing it, but then you started to see more and more guys that had never been hit started wearing it. Yunel Escobar did so for a little bit last year to see if he liked it. But if you can't manage that inside part of the fastball or part of the play with a hard fastball, guys are going to start getting hit and hurt.
It's a missing art right now as far as that. You're going to see some guys hit more often.
We'll head to the second. Nice inning for Kenta Maeda. Retiring decided order. We're scoreless. Series wrapping up Cactus League action. Bridwell threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, but did not give up a run. A couple of men on at scoring positions. 28 pitches facing Yasmani Grandal. Switch hitting catcher. It's the balls and 2 strikes. Grandal last year 247, 22 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Now 29 years of age, a free agent to be.
I had a conversation with Parker Bridwell in spring training about when he got ahead 0-2. So often you see pitchers fall back in those 1-2, 2-2, 3-2 counts before finishing them off. He said his mindset is always, I'm going to try to get him out on 3 pitches. You saw that good breaking ball 0-2. It just fouled it off by Grandal, but he's thinking in terms of getting the quickest out possible, even ahead of the count 0-2.
Reaching for that one. It gets under the glove of Bridwell into center field. An off-speed pitch on an 0-2 count, a leadoff single for Grandal. And get your red on. Support your Angels every home game this year with the 2018 Angels season seat package. For more information, call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com/season seats to become a season seat holder.
Yes. Season seats.
There's a season seat package for you. Just have to call.
Yes.
Gooby, you got your package ready to go?
Yes.
All right. There's Jock Peterson, left fielder. Breaking ball for a strike. 102 games last year for Peterson. 212, 11 home runs, 35 runs batted in, but Tell you what, he had a heck of a World Series against the Houston Astros.
And he wasn't on the roster in the first round. Struggled mightily.
6 for 18 with 3 home runs against the Astros. A 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, he made an adjustment with his hands, and he started to drive the ball more consistently during the postseason. In the big moments, he was really clutch for them last year. Has struggled, though, in spring training once again. He's a guy that will strike out quite a bit, but real good power when he makes contact.
Pujols playing behind Grandal over at first base. Left-hander up. Bridwell misses outside. 3-1. Not a warm night. Cool, as a matter of fact. It was 62 degrees at first pitch. It's worked up a pretty good lather through the first inning plus. And a walk.
Unusual. 4 3-ball counts already for Parker Bridwell. Something we didn't see at all last season.
You wouldn't think that a guy like Bridwell, the moxie that he has on the mound that we saw all of last year, he takes last year 10-game winner as a rookie, 10 wins the most as a rookie pitcher in the American League, and say, all right, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that in the offseason, try to tweak things. You'd think that, I mean, you know him very well, as do I, that you would think that the mindset was, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing until they start making adjustments. Why tinker with anything?
Exactly right, and he knows how hard it was to get to this point where he was going to be considered a possibility in the 6-man rotation coming into spring training. So he took nothing for granted. But again, you know it's there. There's no doubt. When I saw what his last game out when he went 5 innings before he went into the 6th inning and gave up a couple home runs in that game, he threw the ball exceptionally well.
And I'd imagine the one thing that you don't want to happen is whether here or down at AAA Salt Lake, if that's where he ends up going and pitching is until he gets back to the big leagues, that you get down on yourself, lose the confidence that perhaps that you built up last year. Because it was such a terrific year, for a terrific run for him. This one's out towards center, Forsythe underneath it. Tracks back, and Dahl not going anywhere.
Trout did a nice job getting behind that baseball. And Mike Sosa talked a couple times about Mike Trout in spring training as far as getting behind the baseball to throwing it to the right base. A couple times caught on that. That was a perfect job by Trout getting behind that baseball to have a good angle to throw that baseball in. Prevent Grandal from going to third. Yeah, you're getting back to Parker Bridwell. The nicest kid you'll ever meet, but when he's on that mound, he's about as tough as a competitor as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, you joked about it last year that as soon as he crosses the line, he becomes Dexter.
Yeah. Yes.
Not the guy you want to. You don't want to cross his path.
There's no doubt. And I joked about him to him about that, and he goes, "You might be right." Because I'm all business when I get out the mound, and that's what you want to see. I mean, he's just a true gentleman when you see him away from the field, or even in the dugout, or before the game. But he's all business when he gets that baseball.
Hernandez able to hold up on the breaking ball. 1-1 count. Kike, the second baseman tonight.
Well, how comfortable you see that if you're a pitcher when you got Martin Maldonado behind the plate. Break a ball in the dirt, smothers that, doesn't allow the runners to advance. Rene Rivera, more than likely the backup, had an outstanding spring. Not only swinging the bat, 3 home runs, but he's thrown out a ton of base runners, very good behind the plate himself. So really good defense for the Angels behind the dish.
Two balls, 1 strike. Grandal, base hit to lead things off. Peterson follow with a walk. Breaking ball, pulled foul.
A lot of pitches already for Bridwell so far. That's his 43rd pitch. He's faced 9 batters. He's thrown 8 first pitch strikes. But the feel after that particular first pitch strike has not been there for Parker. Unusual too for him, but still, he's a guy that can get that ground ball double play as well as anybody on this staff looking for a ground ball double play right now.
Just off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taylor, the leadoff man on deck. So the Dodgers 104-58 last year. They were incredibly good at Dodger Stadium. 57-24. Going 47-34 away from Chavez Rodriguez. This one's rolled foul. And for a team with 104 wins, you'd think, all right, a good chunk of that maybe perhaps within the division. I mean, they were good within the division, 41-35, but wasn't overwhelming. They took care of business outside of the division. As a matter of fact, the one team that they did handle fairly easily in the division, the Padres, they went 13-6 against them. But the other 3 teams played them pretty close, pretty tight throughout the year.
I think when you look back at that NL, the playoffs, the Diamondbacks had that long game against Colorado Rockies. They were up, what? Diamondbacks were up 6-0. They had their rotation set up well against the Dodgers. But Robbie Ray be able to come in and pitch to game 1, but he was forced to pitch in relief, and that certainly gave the Dodgers an advantage going against the Diamondbacks in that short series.
Diamondbacks, the division series, the Cubs, the DS, and the Nationals in the National League Championship Series. Hernandez down swinging. 2 down. First strikeout for Bridwell.
A lot of confidence to be able to throw that breaking ball, especially on a 3-2 count, knowing who's on deck. Good over the top 12-6 break on the curveball from Parker Bridwell to get Hernandez to swing out in front and make no contact. Who's had a very good spring training himself, Kike Hernandez.
So back to the top of the order, Chris Taylor. 1 for 1 with a base hit, leading off the game.
One of those cutters for Bridwell you're hoping he's taking, because that kind of spun right over the middle of the plate. Even though you want to get ahead of the count, Chris Taylor is another hitter for the Dodgers, like Corey Seager, that attacks that first pitch very well.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fourth time through the first inning and 2/3. Parker Bridwell's gone to a 0-2 count. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed. Check that, 2 hits allowed. Weren't too many of these games for Parker last year.
Yeah, he was generally into almost 5th inning at this point with this amount of pitches thrown. Mentioned just a little over 14 pitches per inning pitch last season.
Hey, nice catch. Dropped the glove, used the shoulder, the body. Hung on to it.
Yes. Getting ready for the season also. Little bobble. But yes, we have a catch.
Taylor bouncing one over to Kozart. They'll go the short way, but safe at second. No!
Maybe they're going to check replay. We didn't see that at all in spring training, but Dave Roberts may take a look at that one.
He looked pretty safe from here.
His foot was in the air. no contact with the base.
Ah, they're going to challenge it. Why not? Yeah, he was somewhat safe.
Again, making that adjustment for Cozart over to third. Making the quick throw over there to second base. Looked like Peterson, who runs well.
It's a great call by the umpire in a spring training game.
Yes.
Just moving along. And Jock did he did the right thing. He was running off the field. This has a very good chance of being overturned, Mark.
Yeah, that foot looks like it's on the base. A lot before the baseball got there.
It's like they painted the base blue. I mean, come on.
Again, that's one of those in-between hops for Cozart. It's different at third base as compared to the shortstop throughout his whole career.
Jerry Davis, the crew chief, on the right. Mark Ripperger made the call. Oh, I thought he was going to
so did I.
I think he may have, for one split second, I think Jerry Davis may have forgotten what the call was. There was a little bit of a stutter there.
The drama.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Corey Seager will come to the plate. Taylor reaching on the fielder's choice, no error.
Now, this is one of those pitches now for Parker Bridwell. You really have to be careful on that first pitch against Seager. Mentioned those numbers he had last season on the first pitch.
One ball, no strikes. Randall over at third, Peterson at second, Taylor at first. No score in the second, 2 outs. 2-0.
There's a visit to the mound right now for Martin Maldonado. And Simmons going to join in there. Looks like same thing with Charles Nagy.
New rules.
Yep, 6 visits.
The MV. Supposed to appear on the scoreboard too during the regular season. We'll keep track of the mound visits this year. 6 total visits. You like that? You like the new rule?
Well, we talked about that a number of times. I didn't like when I had even 1 visit to the mound, unless they were taking me out of the game, and even then I was not real happy about that
I was
either.
going to say, you were content with getting taken out of the game, you?
I said, I already went through the scouting report. I'm good. Just stay back there, put down the right signs, and if it didn't go well, it's all your fault.
2-0 count. 3-0. Did you ever in your career have a mound visit from the skipper where you said to him, what took you so long?
No, but I did have a couple where I said, hey, I guarantee you I will get a ground ball. I think when Bob Boone was the manager, I guaranteed him I was going to get a ground ball. It was against the Angels, and Garrett Anderson was at the plate. Because we were up 6-1. It was, I think, might have been first and second. He goes, all right, because he was going to take me out. I just, hey, listen, I'm going to get a ground ball. And of course, I got a ground ball. Ended up being a base hit out of it. I said, now you can take me out. We ended up winning the game, but he gave me that opportunity because he knew, he looked in my eye when I said I'm going to get a ground ball. GA was, as usual, got his base hit and another RBI.
3-1 count. Seager lifts one out the left. Up to going back on it. And the Divers will load them up and leave them loaded. We'll head to the bottom of the second. No score here at Angel Stadium. couple of long innings for Parker Bridwell. On the flip side, Kenta Maeda has faced 3 batters. He's retired 3. He gets Pujols, Calhoun, and Cozart. The Angels have the second. Albert last year, 241 average, 23 home runs, and 101 runs batted in. A milestone. It's the 600th home run of his career.
32 hits away from 3,000 in his career.
Pulled foul. It's 1-2. I remember a couple of years ago when they talked about Albert. See the all-time hit list. Angels talked about moving him more to a full-time DH role. And even when he DH'd on those quasi-off days, how much he hated the DH spot. Just didn't feel engaged in a game. So you wonder what there's a positive out of this whole having to play first base on an everyday basis as he reaches down on that breaking ball.
Right on cue for you.
Yeah.
Base hit. After playing first base, and outstanding defensive play already in the game. Now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. We talked about it earlier about Cole Calhoun, the adjustments he has made in his stance and where his hands are located from last season. Inside a little bit more. Now hands are away from the body a little bit more of a leg kick for him, and he's got better coverage to drive the ball well the other way. Very good numbers in spring training. 372 batting average. Not only hit the ball to left center field, but hit with authority. More so now because the hands out over the play a little bit more so, and a little bit higher leg kick to create that leverage.
It's at 372 throughout the spring training. You take those numbers however you'd like, but the adjustments that he's made obviously have paid off so far. Looking for that carryover effect into the regular season. It takes ball 1. 244 last year for Cole. 19 home runs, drove in 71. On base percentage of 333.
Probably one of the most important guys in this lineup for the Angels, because you need some balance. Left-handed power. There's a lot of right-handed power in the lineup. Balbuena and Cole providing that from the left side. Shohei Ohtani from the left side.
Ohtani not in the lineup tonight. Balbuena serving as a DH.
Pitched yesterday. Got up and down 6 times, got into that 6th inning. There he is. Worked on his splitter yesterday quite a bit. Velocity down a tick, was down to about 92, 95, settled at 91 or so. Now that's the pitch he really wanted to work on. Talking to him yesterday, that's the pitch he had to have a feel for. And as the game progressed, what I saw in one inning, he had 2nd and 3rd in the game, and he was able to punch out 2 hitters in a row with no runs scored. And that, for me, tells me that stuff is there for him.
Read earlier today before the game that he was assigned the locker once belonged to Jared Weaver. So you know that's
there's some wins
primo
there.
Real estate.
Yes, it is. Some wins and some swing and misses.
Cole ahead of the count at 3-1.
Touched base with Weave a couple times during the offseason. His golf game is really improving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still an interesting follow on Twitter.
Oh, yes. Weave's the best.
Especially when he and Dan Harron
Oh, yes.
exchange words.
And the conversation about that 88-mile-an-hour fastball or slower.
3-2. Albert's on the move, and Cole swing and a miss. Albert. I was going to say, gun stop. 2 down. Strike him out, throw him out.
Zach Kozar coming to the plate right now, an opportunity for some Angel fans to be able to see what he's able to do, what he did last season. 297 for the All-Star, 24 home runs, career high. On base percentage, he works the counts. Even though he'll be aggressive early on, he will fight back in the counts. 548 slugging percentage, 40 home runs combined in his last 2 seasons for Zach Kozar. And his splits, though, everyone thinks Cincinnati, that's where all the home runs were hit. 12 at Cincinnati, 12 on the road. So it translates into power here at the Big A and on the road.
Great American ballpark. He'll pull this one down the left field line. Got a chance to get into the corner, and that is gone. Zach Kozar with a solo home run to give the Angels a 1-0 lead here in the second.
I wonder if he was listening to the breakdown about his ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark here at the Big A. Break down the line for Zach Kozar. Boy, early on, remember, he struggled in spring training. And he said his timing wasn't there, but his timing was locked in. He's got that foot down. We're talking about launch angle with Zach Kozar. Got underneath, he had some good backspin on that upper pitch above the belt and still hit it out to left field. Some great sound off the bat for Kozar. Continues to swing very, very well.
4th home run of the spring, 10th run batted in. 1-0 Angels here in the second as Luis Valbuena dials that one back.
Well, Angel fans are going to love to get to know Zach Kozar. He is a real good kid. Funny. Plays outstanding defense. And really has turned himself into a very good hitter. Before known mainly for his glove.
Valbuena DHing tonight. Second season with the Angels. So last year played some thirds and first, DH. Struggled at times, 22 home runs, 65 runs batted in. The team leader in bat flips, however. And some of them were rather glorious.
Yes. Even on walks. Impressive.
I don't mind the bat flip. On the walks, you know, I'd be a little.
Well, the bat boy may be helpful and happy if it's towards him.
Well, he strikes out on the off-speed pitch, and that'll do it for the Angels here in the second. But Zach Kozar, the Angels' third baseman, pulling one down the left field line. 4th home run of the spring, giving the Angels the early lead.
Well, nice job of getting that foot down, the timing there for that solo shot.
team leader this spring in those big flies. Top of the third, Puig to lead things off, followed by Bellinger and Kemp. Parker Bridwell on the bump. 58 pitches, and with that, the Angels start to get some action going in their bullpen. Yasiel worked the walk in the first. One of 2 free passes issued by Parker. This is bounced to short. Little 2-hopper.
He ran that fastball in pretty good. My Hyundai key for this game. Having the boys back in town. Go back in the saddle again. A little Aerosmith. Mike Socha's club. Talking to the guys before the game. How happy they are to be playing back in their normal routine. Playing a night game back here at the Big A.
Here I thought that was a Gene Autry song.
And it is also.
Singing Cowboy.
Yes.
Cody Bellinger takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. He grounded out to Pujols. A nice little diving stop. The first inning. So Bellinger 0 for 1.
It's going to be curious to see how Bellinger adjusts to breaking balls thrown, whether it's curveballs or sliders down off the plate in. You know what he can do against a fastball.
Breaking ball 1-2. There's such violence in his swing, Bellinger's, and I love it. I mean, you talk about the young guys coming up and just, I'm gonna see dead red, and I'm gonna pull the trigger. Not only am I gonna pull the trigger, Seager's the exact same way.
Yes.
They let it fly.
And because, you know, back not that long ago, hitters gave each other a little grief about striking out. So there's in their mind right now an outs and out, whether it's strikeout or a ground out or a fly out. They're trying to create lift on the baseball, and to do so, especially with a lot of movement in the feet. You see right there, he's ready to jump on any pitch close to the strike zone, especially if it's a fastball or a straight or mistake breaking ball.
Most home runs by a rookie. Of course, Aaron Judge, the American League Rookie of the Year last year, 52 home runs. McGuire, then Bellinger. Little tapper, that's a fair ball.
Anybody think there'll be any home runs hit in Yankee Stadium this year?
In Yankee Stadium, or are you talking about between the two guys?
The two guys in Yankee Stadium.
There'll be plenty of home runs hit at Yankee Stadium, regardless of who's playing, especially out to right field. Felix Pena getting ready. Fireballing right-handed. Two quick outs for Bridwell. That's the first time he's not only retired the leadoff man, but got back-to-back outs. As Kemp gets this one fouling out of play. Matt grounded out then the first.
There is some serious talent in baseball, especially a lot of good young talent. If you're a baseball fan, even a casual baseball fan, this is going to be a fun season.
Popped up behind the plate. Maldonado seems to got enough room. Looks like he does. A 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Parker Bridwell. And that's a very good sign for him to kind of build that confidence. 1-0 Angels as we head to the bottom of the third. Going on now. Offers end April 2nd. It's the bottom of the third. Halo's up by the score of 1-0. Victor Rojas along with Mark Gubiza. Glad you could join us. Spring training action, Freeway Series. The only game that the Angels will play here throughout this Freeway Series. It's at Dodger Stadium tomorrow and Tuesday night. The Angels have an off day, travel day on Wednesday, and then begin the regular season on Thursday with a 4-game set for the second consecutive year. 4-game series to start the year in Oakland. Doesn't happen too often.
3-day games up there in Oakland. And a 7:30 game on Friday.
Eight, 9, and 1 for the Angels. Simmons, Val, Bueno, Maldonado, and Kinsler. Bueno flashed out in the second inning. He's made it. Knocks this one down. Angels is retired for the first down.
Still, even though that's an L for Anderson, that's a good swing. You're looking to hit the ball right back up the middle. Maeda feels his position very well. As you see by those numbers, 5-time winner. That's top fielding award as far as the pitchers. Reason why, because he lands in very good fielding position. Doesn't overthrow the baseball. A lot of times you'll see a pitcher, right-handed pitchers in particular, will fall towards first base. Sometimes lefty the same way towards third. Lands in very good fielding position.
Here's Martin Maldonado. Second season with the Angels. He had a terrific first year. So the first pitch pops this one up. Grandal will get an opportunity to work on his defensive skills, and that one almost pops out of the glove.
And it's the thing with Maldonado, same thing with Grandal. It's a different feel for getting a pop-up when it's getting a little bit darker out. Playing a lot of day games in spring training. Although more and more clubs are starting to play night games, it still is an adjustment to the eyes. Something hit at night, dealing with the lights.
Last year was the Angels getting used to the new lights here, the LED lighting in the ballpark. And now they get to get acclimated to the new scoreboards, which I think now are brighter than the LED lights were last year.
These scoreboards are amazing.
Kinsler popped out, saw one pitch in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
Perfect. Sound system also here. Very, very good.
2 balls, no strikes. 2 out, 2-0.
That will be the title of my book at some point. The lack of focus to finish off an inning. So often you'll see from pitchers. Get 2 quick outs and fall behind 2-0.
That's pulled down the line. Hooking, and that'll go foul.
Well, he tried to bring that one back. Work his way back towards that foul pole. That's the thing about Kinsler. He will pull a baseball very well, especially on the inner half of the plate.
Three balls, 1 strike. Kinsler last year, down year with the Tigers. 236 average, hit 22 home runs, drove in 52. Scored 90 times. And he'll take a strike. Full count.
Well, we saw him a number of times in spring training, how well he runs the bases, how he goes first to third. How even at one game he was at second base and Trout hit a ground ball right to third. As soon as the third baseman threw across the diamond, he was at third base. It gives up, then it gives pull, so it gives Trout that opportunity to drive him in. He's all about winning. That's all he wants to do. And as Mike Scioscia said, he brings a little edge to this team. See how well he runs the bases. Mentioned that before. 225 career stolen bases. 234 career home runs.
3-2, he reaches for it. That might be a base hit unless Bellinger can get it to Maeda, and nice play by both Cody Bellinger and Kenta Maeda. to get the out at first. Not an easy play by either guy.
Yeah, Bellinger's a very solid defender in Maeda. Being in there where they practice that all spring training along. Pitchers feel in their position. That good angle Maeda took to get to the base. Just barely able to get Kinford.
Bridwell's night has come to an end after 3 innings. He struggled through the first 2, but did a nice job in the 3rd inning, throwing just 10 pitches. He threw 67 overall. He departs with a 1-0 lead as Felix Pena takes over on the mound. The former Cubs farmhand comes on in relief here, and he'll face Grandal, Peterson, and Forsythe, 6, 7, and 8. So numbers for Pena last year with the Cubs. Big arm, but at times has struggled as far as the command. 11th appearance of the spring for him, 1-0 with a 4.50 ERA, 10 innings, 16 strikeouts overall. One of the guys that talked about as far as depth is concerned. Billy Upper went out and got this offseason. Dahl behind the count at 0-2. Yasmani 1 for 1 with a base hit. Pena's an arm that Epler kind of focused in on to provide some bullpen depth. Rotation starts with Garrett Richards. He is the man that will lead this Angels staff beginning on Thursday in Oakland, and Garrett is down in the dugout with our very own Alex Curry. Alex.
Thank you, Victor. Now, Garrett, I know the official announcement hasn't been made yet, but you will be opening the season in Oakland next week. Oh, thank you. Showers coming your way. After a healthy spring, what are you most looking forward to this season?
To be honest with you, I'm looking forward to playing baseball again. You know, I missed some time these last couple of years, and you know, when it's taken away from you like that, you value the smaller things. So I'm just excited to be playing baseball again and being healthy and getting ready to get this here in the locker room, and you know, we're gelling so. Excited about getting going.
Now, you mentioned coming into the spring healthy. That's a different thing for you. So what was your focus going in? Also getting fed.
Hang on, can you repeat that?
Yeah, coming into spring healthy, not very common for you. So what was your focus going into this spring?
Just kind of going about my routine a little bit differently. You know, trying to focus on recovering in between starts a little bit better. Try not to overdo it. You know, with that being said, you know, as pitchers, when we take the mound, you know, we're out there trying to compete, and you know, we might go a little bit too fast at times, and you know, you get amped up, you know, feeling that adrenaline again for the first time since last year. So really just you know, focusing on my recovery and and trying to be ready to bounce back for every start this spring.
Not just you, but majority of this team came into spring healthy, and for the first time, this team had a locked-in lineup, starting rotation. How was that different this spring? Different feeling?
Well, you know, we all kind of went through some stuff last year together, and so we're able to kind of lean on each other through that downtime where, you know, everybody was kind of banged up. So, you know, we would always talk about, you know, when we were all healthy again, how much fun it was going to be and how excited we were all going to be. And, you know, now we got everybody healthy and we're looking great. Everybody's throwing the ball well, and, you know, we're just excited about getting going, like I said. But, you know, we had a lot of time to just kind of, you know, sit and talk with each other and bounce some ideas off each other and some plans moving forward as far as what we wanted to accomplish as a group. And, you know, I think it's going to be one of those years where, you know, somebody's going to set the tone and the next guy's going to follow it up. It's going to be you know, pass the ball to the next guy kind of thing. And I think it's going to be really exciting and a lot of fun to watch.
Speaking of the group, you've really become the leader of this pitching staff. What has it been like for you stepping into that role? You got Shoemaker coming over. What are you getting fed? What is this?
These are fruit snacks. That definitely hit the ground. Sorry. What were you saying?
You want me to repeat that again?
Yeah, please.
Everyone's watching you right now. Yeah. But you've really stepped up as the leader of this pitching staff. How has it been for you stepping into that role?
Well, you know, when I first got to the league, I had a lot of older guys that were, you know, in front of me that kind of set the tone and led by example. And, you know, when I was younger, I just kind of sat back and watched and made mental notes of what these guys were doing, and, you know, really observed why they were successful. And, you know, I've been in the league for a couple years now, but, you know, you're learning something new every single day. And, you know, you had guys like Weaver and Heron and some of those older guys that, you know, showed you the ropes when you were younger. And now that we got some younger guys on the team, and, you know, I'm a very approachable guy, and we always bounce ideas and thoughts off each other, and, you know, anything that's going to help us win ball games. And that's the beauty of this group, is everybody's pulling for each other. There's no I guys in the group. And so when you got a group like that, it makes it really easy to come to work every day and give it your all, and hopefully win ball games.
And you can even just see, just by the couple minutes we've been down here, really how much fun you guys are having. So thank you so much, Garrett, for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Victor Gooby, I think you guys might need to feed some fruit snacks to each other now. Is that the trend?
Perhaps. I think if Garrett is setting the trend, that we might have to do that. Last year was hamburgers and the like.
Yes.
Throw you some fruit snacks.
I thought he might even have maybe a candy bar and using a fork to be able to, and fork and knife to eat it.
Yep.
George Costanza on Seinfeld.
3-2 to Forsythe. He fouls it off. Pena's retired the first two batters.
Gee, Rich, he's the best.
Those interviews are never easy.
No. And the best thing about it is the guys in the dugout really like to be comfortable with it too.
Pena with a 1-2-3. Fourth will head to the bottom of the inning. It's 1-0 Angels. Trout to lead things off when we come back.
2nd and Tuesday, April 3rd, as your Angels take on the Cleveland Indians at 7:07 p.m. Fans in attendance will receive a wall calendar while supplies last. For more information on the wall calendar, courtesy of U.S. Bank, visit angels.com/promotions.
Trout leading things off for the Angels. Kenta Maeda back out for his 4th inning of work. Just 39 pitches for the Dodger right-hander. 3 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits allowed. One of which was the solo home run by Zach Cozart in the 2nd. Trout got jammed, a little soft liner to Kike Hernandez in the 1st, so he's 0 for 1.
Got a shift on the infield against Trout. 3 Dodgers on the left side of the infield. Bellinger by himself on the right side.
They did not shift in the first at-bat. It's one of the things I was going to ask you.
And they're moving back now.
In that last at-bat that Trout had, you know how teams continue to evolve with the shifts, pitch by pitch, situation by situation.
The Astros would do that on occasion against Trout.
I mean, well, the Astros have a history of, they start charting in the minor leagues so that there's a database in place by the time whatever the player is gets to the big leagues. They've got, you know, a history. But you would think that shifting pitch by pitch as a hitter, you would think, okay, they're going to try to do this now.
Yes, you would think so.
That's out toward deep left center field, going back, and that is gone. Over the Yokohama side. 2-0 Angels. Trout with the big home run.
Boy, I'll tell you what, when you look at Mike Trout, anything that lower part of the strike zone, it's going to be hit hard. And it is. Let's take a look at our top tier play brought to you by Arco. Lower part of the strike zone, a breaker ball just around knee height. Center part of the plate, Trout gets the foot down, short through the baseball, backspin and drives it out to center field. Boy, what a short, compact swing, and if anything's that lower part of the strike zone or below, it's going to be hit hard, and Trout did so. Well, you're getting back to the shifts and stuff we're seeing in baseball. I was watching a number of Philly games during spring training where Gabe Kapler, now the manager for the Phillies, has the outfielders moving back and forth between left and right field depending on what the hitters has a tendency to do as far as pull or drive the ball the other way. It's a lot of extra running for outfielders to do, switching around.
It's like the protective guard, the throat guard, the mask of Alfonso Marquez came off. This one down the line, but slicing foul. No balls, 2 strikes on Upton. Struck out in the 1st. This is foul back. Just below our booth.
They're the pop-ups we might have an effort and try for.
One ball, 2 strikes. Maeda gave up 2 home runs in 12 1/3 innings in Arizona. He's given up 2 home runs tonight at the Big A. Cozart, Trout, 2-0 Angels. That to me, I think, is a right-handed batter after seeing stuff away. Tough pitch to lay off.
And we talked a little bit about him even on the pregame show, Jose and I, about how his ability not to chase pitches out of strikes. And we talk about his power, 79 extra base hits last year, but he's the guy that works counts very well.
This is line to center field. Taylor coming on. He'll play down the hop. So back-to-back hits for the Angels to strike the fourth.
And with Albert Pujols coming to play, now it's time for the key, a drive to success with Albert Pujols coming to the plate. Pujols is 32 hits away from 3,000. 614 career home runs. That's 7th best all-time extra base hits. 7th best all-time. 8th all-time as far as RBI with 1,918 RBIs. 619 doubles too for the machine.
Albert with a base hit in the second. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody loosening for the Dodgers. The Angels have veteran Jim Johnson getting ready. They acquired from the Braves this offseason.
Well, even go back to Justin Upton. What a good at bat. He had 6 pitch at bat before getting that base hit. Saw him hit a home run in spring training to right center field. We've talked about that wall now in right center field. Could be helpful for Pujols and Upton as the season progresses here at the Big A to get a home run that way instead of have to go over the high wall. Mike Trout was even talking about that a little bit today, the padding there where you think you can bring one of those home runs back on occasion on the defensive side, but stay back on the baseball and drive it that way, pick up a few more home runs. I think on the average 4 to 6 home runs more that way on the average for a season.
Cole struck out in the second. Now you talk about that wall. Would it bother you as a pitcher that all of a sudden you see the dimensions? The dimensions didn't technically change, but the height of the home run did to the 8 feet, the standard 8 feet.
No, for me, I was a sinker ball pitcher. When I gave up a home run, there was no park going to keep that in the yard. So it was going to fly out. It's going to have some height to it. I just like the opportunity for the offense to be able to pick up an extra run or two. That's what's going to be the case.
And again, the double play, but the Angels add on the home run by Mike Trout. We got 33 of them last year. Picks up 1 here in spring training. 2-0 Angels. We head to the 5th. run of the spring to give the Angels a 1-0 lead. Trout just hit his 3rd of the spring. It's 2-0 as we start this 5th inning. Jim Johnson, the veteran, takes over on the mound for the Angels. 34-year-old, originally a 5th-round pick of the Orioles back in 2001 out of high school in Endicott, New York. He's been in the big leagues a while. Was closer for a time. You take a look at his numbers last year with the Atlanta Braves, 6-3 with a 5.56 ERA and 22 saves. He's a guy that had back-to-back 50 save seasons for the Orioles in 2012, 2013. Since then, he has spent time with Oakland, Detroit, the Braves, the Dodgers, back to the Braves, and now he is an Angel as he delivers a strike. And it's our pleasure to welcome in yet another member of the Angels broadcast crew, Jose Mota, who's down on the camera. Well, what's up, Jose? How you doing?
What is going on, man? It feels as cool as let's see, Arizona down here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ever thought I'd say that? No.
Hey, you got a chance to see a lot of these guys. You saw a lot of baseball, and your takeaway overall from the Angels spring training in Tempe before we get into specifics.
Well, you know what? My takeaway is more on the offensive side and how Billy Epler was able to address some of the things that perhaps the Angels came up short on last year. And talk about on-base slugging, new hitting coaches. Keep in mind, Eric Hinsky brings a lot of experience. But Victor, just how the guys kind of fed off of each other in the short innings they play together. It seems like passing the baton and, you know, prolong the line, things like that were pretty evident and common for the Angels as a unit.
Kike Hernandez works the leadoff walk, and it'll spin the lineup back to the top.
Yeah, we saw that a couple times, or at least 2 or 3 times in spring training, batting around and not necessarily with home runs, Jose, but singles and using the whole field, making good, consistent contact and some really good base running.
Yeah, whatever it took. You know, Eric Hinsky knows he's working with superstars. He's got the Shohei Ohtani issue also to deal with and communicating with the pitching coach himself as a hitting coach, so all new for him, but perhaps the guys responded very well because he is a good listener. A guy, you know, played over 1,300 games in the big leagues. He knows what it takes to keep guys quiet and in tune.
I think there was probably some, I don't know, I guess some question. I don't want to say question marks, but whenever you bring in a number of different faces and all, you know, a lot of veteran guys in Cozart. Upton was here for a brief time last year. Johnson, Kinsler, so on and so forth. That you wonder how all those pieces are going to fit together in the puzzle and how cohesive a unit is going to be. And you guys know, Gooby and Jose, how important that is in a clubhouse over the course of a 162-game schedule, that you get not only the caliber of player that you're looking for, whether defensively or offensively, but that the individual is going to fit into the philosophy that you have currently set for your ball club, or what you'd like to have set. And it seems like, Jose, you tell me if I'm wrong, that, I mean, it's almost like they've been together for a period of time, as opposed to all of a sudden there's all these new faces and it's going to take some time for them to gel.
The one thing we know is you take each one of these guys and it's about how hungry they are to get to the postseason.
First 2 have reached here against Johnson.
And Victor, as you know very well, that is the biggest uniter right there. When guys are like, okay, yeah, it's spring training, we're going to go through and get our work. It's a long season, but from day 1 in spring training, in that meeting, you start talking about the common goal. You start at 0, but you want to be playing baseball in October. Then you work backwards. How do we get there? And so forth. Easy to fit into that philosophy when it's all about that one common goal, knowing that there's been a drought here for a while.
Yeah, and Jose, with Jim Johnson on the mound, he saw that ground ball got in through the hole. As a defender, knowing you have a pitcher that will get a lot of ground ball action, and all these really good defenders for the Angels in the infield, what are you looking for as far as quickness, as far as being able to get a double play turn?
I want to see the swings right now to see how his sinker is moving, and also how will he implement his splitter, which is really good, but also he's an option for Mike Soja, you know, high leverage or not, that he can get a ground ball for you depending on the situation later in the game. So right now I'm looking at swings. Is he around that sinker? Is he late? Is he got a little more zip on that fastball? Certainly I want the ball hit to me right here as an infielder.
Yeah, you mentioned that basically it's come down to it, and they didn't want to talk about it, but closer by committee. That may be, the closer may be forced to come in. You mentioned Jim Johnson, get a ground ball. He can come out of the bullpen with a couple guys on and get that ground ball double play, which may occur in the 7th inning as compared to the 9th inning.
It works.
Well, broken bat, flare out to left field. Upton's not going to get there, but the deke holds up Kike Hernandez between second and third. I thought off the bat that is a sure base hit and a run scored, but instead it's a bases loaded situation with Puig coming up.
It's a pretty good movement on that fastball off the end of the bat from Corey Seager. You see how strong he is to be able to flare that one out to left field. There's a good little deke out there and left by Justin Upton. It kept Hernandez from reading that well. You see him has to stop and then work his way to third. At that point, with no outs, you're not going to take a shot at going to score on that.
Hernandez at third base, Taylor at second, Seager at first, Puig at the plate. He's walked and grounded out. Swinging first pitch, a bouncer to third. Kozar plays a short hop. He goes to first. I thought he was going to come home. He takes the sure out at first base. The run scores. 2-1 Angels.
Now, as an infielder, Jose, and Kozar making that adjustment to third base. Now, a lot of times you'll see as a shortstop, you come home. Is it because of that angle different for him? You think that's the reason why he goes to first, or you're at that point in this game, you're going to get this to get the sure out?
You know, in this case, take the sure out. You don't want to get too fancy and lose your footwork, which is, you know, one of the biggest adjustments you got to make, making that transition here. But I think he did the right thing. He got momentum going that way. There's no need to force a cross throw and perhaps throw the ball away into right field.
Second and third, Bellinger at the plate.
And that's got to be the thing for him, Jose. That's a different throw, an angle for him that he's used to and accustomed to being a shortstop.
A lot of reaction, angle, aim sometimes at front shoulder, even in more on the bag instead of into the runner's lane.
There's that
I
big
think he was
swing.
just trying to go the other way on that swing, Jose.
No, he's looking at the 57 freeway somewhere back there. Hey, Victor, you're a pitcher, so watch one thing I learned from Jim Johnson. He was telling me about this in spring training. He wants to throw glove first. Remember Tom House, how big he was on this, and you too, Mark? So he wants glove first, perhaps, to maybe throw a little more deception to the hitter.
And you see the little flip of the glove as he's coming down the slope of the mound. I think that's one of those things. It's got to happen naturally, right? Because otherwise you're thinking more about that as opposed to the execution.
Yeah, you force that. That forces that front shoulder open more, and then inevitably the baseball is seen a little bit quicker from the hitter. You want to create that deception with the glove, front shoulder, and then hide the baseball to the last second.
And that was, he was telling me, is key for him as he's lost velocity obviously through the years. He wants to make sure that ball does not come out of that view and that window for the hitter until the very last minute. And the first thing he sees is leather. Well, let it be, but he knows still got to put the ball in good spots.
Little dribbler, and that is a fair ball. The throw goes to first, and we're tied at 2. Nothing Maldonado could do. He played the baseball correctly, got the out. There are 2 outs with a man at third now.
And generally, you're going to see a lot of ground ball action with Jim Johnson on the mound, especially not a lot of baseball squared up when he's throwing the ball well. Out in front, just tap that right in front of the plate. As it rolled back, we see that so often here, Jose, in the stadium, how the baseball looks like it would roll foul, but we know it always rolls back into fair territory.
You got to stay with it. You have to stay with it. So many ways. You cannot give up on that play. Good job by Maldi.
Matt Kemp with 2 outs. He's grounded out and popped out. Now you want to throw some deception as far as the glove and the like. You'd almost just go to Jim Palmer style. Go the leg kick, the big arm.
Juan Marichal also.
Juan Marichal, yeah. There's some deception.
How about Matt Kemp, guys? Torrey Hunter, again, a big influence on a player, this time a veteran player, and getting him to understand more about where he is and what stage of his career he's at to go out there and maximize those last few years. Look at the influence he had on Matt Kemp this offseason.
It looks like he's in incredible shape. Shoot this one foul.
It allows you to be quicker, both with the bat and when you're on the defensive side.
and going into camp, he was almost like an afterthought. And many people actually thought in the national media that he was going to be Victor a quick flip. You know, put on waivers immediately, but he got hot from day number 1 over in Glendale.
Breaking ball, chopped to short. Simmons has it. And Anderson wanting Albert to work on the old tag play at first base. Spring training after all. Jose, stick around, will you? 2-2 as we hit the bottom of the 5th.
Take a look at our Carl's Cam replay. It's worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. Back in the 2nd inning, Zach Cozart, first at bat here at the Big A as an Angel drives it out down that left field line for a solo shot. For Cozart, 24 home runs last season. It's Winier, his first at bat.
2-2 tie here in the 5th. Cozart, Valbuena, and Simmons, 6, 7, and 8. Kenta Maeda, who's thrown 57 pitches so far. Ball and a strike. All the career highs for Cozart last year. He's now 33. All-star season. He's a 2nd-round pick. The Reds at the University of Mississippi. This one foul. Stayed fair. I think it was kicking left. Nice play by Forsythe to stick with it. 1 down.
And Jose, you saw the beginning of spring training with Cozart, how he was kind of struggling with his timing, but that has not been the case now for like the last 12 to 14 games in which he's really driven the ball very, very well.
He credits his former teammate Joey Votto in just convincing him, put that bat in your back shoulder, stop thinking about the hands and the wiggle and the timing, put the bat in the back shoulder, and you'll see that even when you start a little bit slowly, you go through some droughts, you'll come out of it a little cleaner, more confident, and trusting your hands. So just as simple as that. Of course, easy for Joey Votto to say, but certainly a quick adaptation there by Cozart himself.
Valbuena struck out in the 2nd.
And he says Donnie the donkey is doing very well, petting zoo in Cincinnati.
At the petting zoo. Looking for some land so that he can bring him with him. Gooby, you've got plenty of land.
Yes. I have some room for him.
Yeah.
A little bit of a drive, though, for him to go visit.
I think it would work out just fine.
Oh, yeah. To go along with my new puppy, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jose, Luis Valbuena last year obviously struggled. The power was there, the 22 home runs, a lot of strikeouts. However, does he relax? CJ Cron's no longer here. Maybe get some more opportunity to play, not to worry about when and if he's going to be in the lineup.
Well, keep in mind he lost. He was out for the first month of the season, which is CJ Cron's opportunity being inserted into the lineup. Valbuena says because of the hamstring issues that he had in spring training, he was not able to get full strength, as you saw, until the second half of the season. So, you know, his legs are important to him, obviously, to get that base of hitting. 16 home runs after the All-Star break tells you how much better he felt and how much comfortable he got.
He'll go down swinging for round number 2. Strikeout number 5 for Maeda.
The issue with Valbuena is going to be all combined with Ohtani's offense, Albert Pujols' days at first base, and to see how he's able to crack the lineup as often as possible. Certainly no issues whatsoever, thankfully for Luis, this spring training in terms of his legs.
We've waited for you to set the over-under on how many games at first base Albert's going to play this year.
I'm going to go 110 plus. How about you guys? Put a number on it.
Well, I think if he has his druthers, he'll play. You almost have to find him to get in the lineup, especially at first base. I'll probably take that. I'll take the over. I'll take the exact number on the over/under.
Yes, there you go.
It's like betting 0-0 on roulette.
If there's any indication how good Albert feels, man, look at that first inning.
Yeah, that was a great defensive play. Wow. Good range by him.
Sharply hit towards second. Nice play by Kike Hernandez from his knees. Throws that Angelton Simmons, and the Angels are down in order. Jose, we appreciate it, buddy.
Anytime.
Thanks, Jose. Enjoy the post-game show.
Fellas.
We played 5. We're tied at 2. Nights live on Fox and FS1. It's a new season with new superstars. Fridays starting this June. Top of the 6th here at the Big A. Tied at 2. Angels go back to their bullpen. Jim Johnson went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs on a couple of hits. No strikeouts, had a walk, and it's Noe Ramirez taking over. 12 games last year between the Red Sox and the Angels. No record at a 2.77 ERA. It always seemed that when Ramirez came into a game, just enough of a funky delivery and off-speed stuff to get hitters off balance. At least a good guy, especially with the men on base to kind of give hitters
even in spring training in a number of games.
It's Monty Grandal to lead things off. Grandal with a single and a ground out.
As much as this team seems to be set as far as the 25-man roster, there's still some battles here these last 3 days.
This one flipped out toward left field. Long run for Upton. Ball tailing away from him, and that'll find its place fair and trickle down the line. Grandal thought about going to third, then slammed on the break. It's a leadoff double. That ball just kept tailing away from Upton.
Well, how far he was playing from that left field line and how much coverage he was going to try to be able to get to that baseball, but that ball just kept going away, especially a left-handed bat. It's going to drift away from the left fielder, try to slide in and make that play. Again, that adjustment to the eyes, playing at night, ends up being a double for Grandal. Second hit of the game for him.
Jock Peterson 0 for 1, walked in the second inning, struck out looking in the fourth. No balls, 2 strikes.
Good spot with that running fastball from no way, especially if you get a left-handed batter hit that ball on the ground. Left side of the infield more than likely will keep Grandal at second base, and if it's hit, the Crows aren't getting out with it. Inside, Peterson's trying to be able to get a pitch on the inner half of the plate, the turn on it.
One and 2. Ramirez, 28 years of age. To Alhambra High School, then on to Cal State Fullerton. 4th round pick of the Red Sox in 2011. 10 games with the Angels last year. One, 2. It's down and in.
It's a real good motion with his changeup. A lot of hitters reading and thinking that's going to be a fastball. Ends up being a changeup. It's a lot of swing and misses with that pitch.
Leadoff double for Yasmani Grandal. Peterson takes outside, a full count. Ramirez, the 4th pitcher tonight. Bridwell's got the start. Went 3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Pena 1 scoreless. And Johnson, now Ramirez. Toward right center field. Long run for Trout, and as he steps onto the track, makes the catch at Grandal.
That's not real good base running right there, because you're going to score if Trout doesn't make that play anyhow. Get right back to the base to advance to third. That was a nice play. Good route by Mike Trout to run that one down. And Trout playing the other way a little bit against Peterson, but that good angle he took to run that one down, that was hit very hard by Peterson. And then gets it in quickly, but Grandal's caught in between. He's got to get right back to the base and tag up. As I said, if that ball lands, one hops the wall, he's going to score easily anyhow. You want to be right back there, especially with no outs.
Logan Forsythe, the batter. Over 2 tonight. Forsythe getting bulk of the duty at third base for the Dodgers. The unfortunate injury to Justin Turner, such an integral part of that Dodger lineup.
Easily could have been the MVP of the National League last year.
2 balls, no strikes.
Again, we're going back to that conversation we had earlier. Kendall Graveman, who will get the opening day start for the A's against the Angels, pitching up and in, hits him in the wrist.
I still swear he's this generation's Kevin Brown. Just looks like him, kind of acts like him on the mound. You know, I don't mean that in a bad way. Just Like a bulldog out there.
That he's a sinker ball pitcher that's trying to elevate fastballs. We talked about that adjustment made by pitchers trying to pitch upstairs. Well, we saw it even in the game in Mesa against the Angels where he threw 2 pitches up and in on Trout and Albert Pujols. Again, that's something when you haven't done that in your career, it's not easy to do. You're always told if you're going to pitch inside, pitch off the plate if you're going to miss. So you're going to see a pitcher trying to go inside, but if it's off the plate, it's going to run in on hitters who aren't accustomed to getting pitched inside. That's a pretty good spot right there with that fastball.
An unfortunate run of injuries throughout baseball here just in the last week. Whether it's Tommy John surgeries or Madison Bumgarner, broken pinky, just had surgery to fix that. Justin Marja with the pack issue.
Chris Sale was hit with a line drive the day after Bumgarner.
Upton, long run in, Simmons going out. Upton with a call of the catch.
He's had his workout in today.
Yeah,
He's had to cover some ground out in left field.
So Grandal still at second, 2 down now. Kike Hernandez coming up. See Howard Johnson got hit and smoked in the face by a foul ball yesterday. Appears to be all right. He's a minor league coach in the Rangers system at Round Rock.
What a player he was.
Hojo.
Started off with the Tigers. I remember he was on that team in '84.
84, yeah.
Platoon player with Brookins at third base.
Oh, Tom Brookins.
I'm still convinced that '84 Tiger team had like a 35-man roster, by the way. Started what, 30-5 that season? 35-5, I should say.
They were pretty good.
Yeah. Kirk Gibson on that team. They'll throw out the first pitch, I think, for the Dodgers in their opener. Remembering the 1988 World Series team. That big home run he hit against the Oakland A's.
Aren't the Dodgers doing something with the seat in right field where that ball landed? It's cool. No balls, 2 strikes on Kike Hernandez.
Saw Kirk Gibson a few weeks ago out in Terranea. He looked good.
Such a good storyteller.
Oh yeah. Yes, he is.
There's passion behind every story too. Hernandez skies off the left.
Yeah. Continue to get your wind sprints in.
Go ahead and walk into the dugout. You got your work in here. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. That leadoff double stranded second. Trout 2 up third. It's a 2-2 game here at the Big A. Take on the Oakland Athletics at 7:07. Fans in attendance will receive a Pujols Countdown to 3,000 action figure while supplies last. For more information on the Pujols Countdown to 3,000 action figure, courtesy of Muscle Maker Grill, go to angels.com.
Well read.
Yeah. 2-2, bottom of the 6th inning. JT Chigua takes over the mound for Kenta Maeda. Maeda, by the way, went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 of which were home runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks. And 2 runs, of course, earned. Maldonado, Kinsler, Trout due up for the Angels in their half of the 6th. First one in tight. Chigua, second-round pick of the Twins in 2012 out of Rice University. Rice is in the Houston, Texas area. Picked up off waivers from the Twins toward the end of February.
Big moving fastball there, lower part of the strike zone at 94.
Got a little time in the big leagues. That was in 2016 with the Twins. 25 games. Breaking ball out toward right. Puig is there. One down. Maldonado 0 for 2 on the night. Ian Kinsler coming to the plate 0 for 2 tonight. Let's get to know the Angels' new second baseman, the veteran that at one time in his career, Gooby did not like the Angels or the Angels red.
Yeah. He didn't.
4-time All-Star, Gold Glove Award winner in 2016.
But you like that because they were some competitive games over the years. Of course, John Lackey and Ian Kinsler were good friends.
Yeah, they're very tight.
Yeah. A lot of success. Big leagues, 4-time All-Star. Just under 1,000 runs scored, Gold Glover. 2016.
That's line toward left field, and that's going to get in there for a base hit, maybe more. It goes to the wall. Ian on his way to second with a 1-out double. So man in scoring position for Trout with 1 out here in the 6th.
Went down and got that pitch right there. You know, he has one of those swings too, trying to get that foot down. We're always talking about timing mechanism. He gets in there, has that slight hesitation in his swing, and then through the baseball, has the hands up high, brings him down, stops, and then through the baseball as soon as he gets his foot down. Very successful career. That's 234 career home runs for Kinsler.
Trout lined out softly in the 1st inning, homered on a breaking ball down in the 4th inning. He was leading off that 4th.
Mentioned that Victor getting down on this breaking ball lower part of the strike zone. Maeda knew it once he made that mistake, middle part of the plate, but down. Trout does not miss that pitch, drives it out to center field.
Called strike 3. Fastball at 94. Paints the outside corner, 2 down.
It's one of those unhittable spots with the fastball. Paints the outside corner, especially when you're thinking possibly getting a breaking ball.
Snap throw to second base, and Kinsler gets back.
Saw Grandal threw the ball very well from the catch position in spring training. Back pick attempt there against Kinsler.
Justin 1 for 2 tonight. 3-game freeway series, spring training edition. This year the Angels interleague play will play the National League West, so the Dodgers and the Angels will meet twice, 2 weekends. Matter of fact, back-to-back weekend series. 1-2. Kinsler thought it was strikeout number. That was a strikeout.
Well, that's a good stolen base there.
That's a stolen base. Yeah, that's only 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That might be the easiest stolen base he ever had in his career. 225 of them.
So it wasn't just Kinsler that forgot the count. The umpire, the Grandal. I think Grandal had an idea. Forsythe wasn't sure. Spring training for everybody, Gooby.
That's a casual stolen base.
That's it. Oh, he thought that was it. I'm wondering why
there's delayed steals and then there's that steal.
Yeah. Why didn't he just throw it? 1-2.
He's now perfected the delayed steal. We said he does special things running the bases. That was a stolen base.
Looks like he went around, and he does get rung up. So back-to-back strikeouts for Chagua. The Angels leave a man over at third base. 6 complete here at the Big A. 2-2 tie. To welcome you into our broadcast booth. I'm sorry that you've got to see us up close and personal with our nice nifty little camera here, but
Yes.
it's good to see you, Gooby.
It's good to be around you again.
Crazy. This is going to be year number 9 together. I apologize. I'll
In
apologize
advance.
Yes. I know you've been walking kind of funny. Your back's sore, and thanks for carrying me all these
Oh,
years.
yeah. No, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun this season, no doubt. With Zach Kozar with a home run, Mike Trout, Ian Kinsler with the delayed stolen base right there. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a special season. Shohei Ohtani, we haven't really got a chance to talk a lot about him yet. It's going to be fun.
It's interesting to see the young guys mix in with the veteran guys, and we've seen already Kozar tonight with the home run. Trout, of course, doing what Trout does. But overall, I mean, it's been a lot of fun watching these guys throughout 4+ weeks of spring training. And it started a little bit earlier. The season's going to start earlier with the new collective bargaining agreement The guys are ready to go. I think they're chomping at the bit, or have been already for some time.
And Jose Mota mentioned a little bit earlier when he was down there in the 5th inning in the dugout how this team has really been together as a group from the get-go. And that's all the conversations I've had down there in Tempe, how much these guys like playing together as teammates. And when you have that kind of continuity as a group with all this talent, special things can happen.
Osmed Morales comes on in relief as Taylor rips one out to center field. Trout not going to give it a shot. Bruce Taylor puts the Dodgers on top 3-2 with a leadoff home run to start the 7th. Jumping on that first pitch.
Now, we talked about that earlier with Taylor and Seager, Bellinger. Early swinging. Good power. That's a impressive swing there for Taylor. He's getting that foot down and creating that launch angle. Backspin on the baseball to drive that out to center field.
Third hit of the night for Chris Taylor. As Seager takes ball 1. 2 singles and a home run. The Dodgers center fielder. 1 ball with strike on the Dodgers shortstop. Seager 1 for 3. Looped a single his last time up. That was in the 5th inning. Dodgers last year 4th in National League home runs as a team with 221. Can you tell me which teams led the National League in home runs? Because it caught me off guard when I was looking this stuff up.
And the obvious ones would be the Yankees and
National
and Brewers.
Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets.
Really? The Metropolitans.
Yeah, the Metropolitans. Line towards second, a little short hop. Just played the backhand by Kinsler, 1 down.
There's a lot of fans in that Milwaukee area that really feel comfortable and confident with that team this season. They've been put together. Some young players, some young talent. The Brewers just missed out last year.
G-Man Choi, the former Angel, had big spring for the Brewers. Breaking ball to Puig is in for a strike. Yasiel with a walk, a couple of ground outs, did pick up an RBI. One of 2 RBI ground outs in that 5th inning for the Dodgers. At that point, tied the game. That was against Jim Johnson.
Well, the Mets could be an interesting team if they stay healthy, that rotation this season. And that's always been a question mark now of late for, even though they're still relatively young pitchers, to staying healthy.
One-two count. Morales, 25-year-old, native of Venezuela. 6th appearance of the spring with the Angels. Started his professional career as a 17-year-old within the Mariners organization. Pitched last year at AA and AAA, the Angels organization. 2-2. Slow breaking ball. And full count. That's out toward right field. Hit well. Trout off the wall with a new line coming to play. And that is a home run. Beyond the reach of Mike Trout, and with that new stripe, it is a home run for Yasiel Puig. 4-2 Dodgers.
Well, Mike Social wants to make sure that you got that one right as far as did it get over that yellow line. Looked like it did.
Well, we were wondering when it would come into play, and there you go. Spring training game.
Yep. Well, Mike Trout said it was more padding on that wall that he might be able to bring back a home run. Didn't quite get up there high enough.
Prevent that home run from Puig.
Yeah, they're going to check it out. No argument from Trout. This shouldn't take very long. A couple of home runs allowed by Morales. Dodgers leading it 4-2.
Yeah, this should be pretty quick.
Yep. From your lips to Chelsea's ears, where they're revealing this in Chelsea, New York.
Well, they said on an average it might be 4 to 6 home runs that way, and it's quickly confirmed. And you see that this over the glove of Trout.
Third home run of the spring for Yasiel. So 1 out, nobody on. Cody Bellinger coming up. Bellinger 0 for 3.
Just with a shift on against Bellinger. Pull's been an outstanding play against him in the first inning. Cozart in his normal position. He's played throughout his career. Right into the shift.
Simmons has it. 2 down. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. 2 outs, nobody on. Matt Kemp, the DH, coming up. 0 for 3. 2 ground outs to short and a pop up behind the plate. Nobody warming for the Dodgers. Now we do get somebody warming up. Scott Alexander, lefty. Ball at a strike. Two one on the way. 3-1. Ridwell tonight got the start, went 3. 4 relievers followed him to the mound. We're talking about the 2 weekend series between the Angels and the Dodgers this season. The 2 weekends right before the All-Star break. The first one is here at the Big A. The second one is the weekend before the All-Star break at Dodger Stadium. So 6 total games. Last year, Angels and Dodgers split their 4 games, the 2-2 home and home. And those 4 games, were just absolutely awesome. And then you talk about atmosphere in both places, the Dodger Stadium here at the Big A. I think the first 2 were there, the last 2 here. Just incredible games.
They were like playoff.
Yeah. Good visit to the mound by Charles Nagy.
An Angel fan in the midst of a couple Dodger fans right there. Well, this season also 2 games in Colorado, 2 games the Rockies play here. Same thing in Arizona also. Giants come into town and go down to San Diego, play the Padres. 3-game set in August. Much easier travel for the Angels this season to play the NL West compared to the NL East last season when you go back east so often.
Peters the runner over at first base, the pinch runner for Matt Kemp. Dahl takes outside. 4-2 Dodgers. Couple of solo home runs here in the 7th. The Dodgers lead. To 1. Taylor's in the bottom of the 7th. Pujols, Calhoun, Kozar coming up. Looks like it'll be Alexander coming out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good change up there from Morales.
Scott. Two now. Dahl strikes out swinging, and that'll do it for the Dodgers into 7th, but they take the lead on a solo shot. 2 solo shots, Taylor and Puig. Stretch time here at the Big A, 4-2 Dodgers. Off, followed by Calhoun and Kozar. I want to remind you to join the Angels Saturday, April 7th. It's a 6:07 start. Oakland A's are in town, and be sure to stay for the post-game showing of the movie The Sandlot following the Saturday night fireworks. What? That's a double feature that night then. Fireworks and The Sandlot. For more info, go to angels.com. Scott Alexander, the left-hander, takes over on the bump. JT Chagua did a terrific job of getting through the 6th inning after giving up the double to Kinsler. He struck out Trout and Upton to get out of it. So it's Alexander taking over. Former Kansas City Royal, 58 games, 5-4 to 2.48 ERA. Alexander, part of a 3-team deal between the Royals, Dodgers, and the White Sox. fouls it off. The only other name that would sound familiar in that trade would be Joakim Soria, one-time closer of the Royals. They're going to the White Sox as part of that deal. Alexander, 28-year-old from Santa Rosa. Albert strikes out, one down. He'll be a huge part, Alexander would be, to that Dodger bullpen with the loss of Brennan Morrow, who signed a free agent deal. He goes elsewhere. Tony Watson as well, gone. He went to the Giants. So they need some guys to step up. They had signed Tom Kohler, the former Marlin, but he's had some arm issues.
He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts likes to go down to that bullpen, match up.
But what a bullpen it was for the Dodgers. I mean, the entire pitching staff was very good last year for the Dodgers.
I think the days of starting pitchers going 230 to 240 innings are long gone. Even if you touch 200 innings anymore, will be a lot. Even for Clayton Kershaw, that might be a lot.
I don't know. I think it's going to get to a point where it becomes a cyclical thing. It'll have to get back to starters being lengthened out. I mean, you saw the longer you played in the postseason, the more tired relievers were. I mean, both you go to the World Series, you see the Astros and the Dodgers, and it was arm after arm after arm, and it was unconventional guys stepping up. I've already mentioned Kenta Maeda, Charlie Morton.
You mentioned Brendan Morrow, how good he was, but you remember after he had been up a number of games in a row, his fastball velocity went from 98 to 92, and he got hurt in that one game.
And it's not just that time frame; it's the bulk of February to late October, and the number of times guys get up in the game, warm up, the side sessions, the throwing they do every day.
And we talked about it a lot already, even today, about the six-man rotation the Angels are going to be putting out there this season as far as the starters. So you would think that allows them to go deeper in the game, but that's not going to be the case for Mike Scioscia. They're still going to settle in around that 100, 110 pitch mark. And the bullpen is going to be very important for Scioscia this season down there. It was very big and important for him last year.
Cole lifts one out to left. Two down.
Well, remember we did the season special last year in Tempe. We talked about the one question mark might be the bullpen, and ended up being the strongest part, really, when you look at it, the bullpen and the depth. Petit was outstanding for the innings format of there. He was one of the most valuable pitchers now up in Oakland. Ismero was very, very good. But Norris, for a time, very, very solid out of the bullpen.
Kozar takes low. Bud Norris signing with St. Louis. Ismero Petit signing with the Oakland Athletics. Petit was a huge, huge part of that bullpen, soaking up innings. David Hernandez was a big part of the Angels bullpen before being dealt to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
How many innings last season out of the bullpen, and Billy Eppler's talked about it a number of times already this year, the need for some arms out of the bullpen to get multiple innings. Remember, J.C. Ramirez was in the bullpen early on. He became a very effective starter. He's thrown the ball exceptionally well. We're going to see him in this Freeway Series on Tuesday.
Kozar goes down swinging in a 1-2-3 seventh, a shutdown inning for Alexander. We're off to the 8th inning with the Dodgers on top 4-2. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. To top of the 8th inning, wholesale changes for the Dodgers and a couple of changes for the Angels. Defensively, those thus far, it's 4-2 as we start this 8th inning. Morales is back out on the mound. This will be his second inning of action. David Fletcher is the new second baseman taking over for Kinsler. Sherman Johnson's the new third baseman taking over for Zach Kozar. And over at first base, it's Jeffrey Marte replacing Albert Pujols. Chase Utley is the leadoff man. He's batting in Jock Peterson's spot in the order. Utley took over at first base in the 7th. Utter Pop, as you like to call him.
Yes. Signed a 2-year deal. Stay as a member of the Dodgers.
A 3-0 count. The veteran Chase Utley, 39 years of age. 127 games last year with the Dodgers at 236.4. He's hacking 3-0 and rips one out to right field. It's a leadoff single.
Still has that short swing.
Austin Barnes coming up. This would be Logan Forsythe's spot in the order. So Forsythe finishes the game going 0 for 3. .289 average, 8 home runs, 38 RBIs last year in 102 games. Morales has struggled to throw strikes. Back-to-back hitters. He's gone to 3 balls and no strikes.
Imagine Barnes green light here also.
Popped him up. Marte. It's called off by Fletcher. 1 down. So it's Kyle Farmer coming up now. Utley still at first base. Andrew Tolles now on deck. Farmer saw some time in the big leagues last year, 20 games with the Dodgers. 8th round pick in 2013. Bulldog, University of Georgia. Dogs, that's D-A-W-G-S. Atlanta native. Halos with a couple of solo home runs, one of the second, one of the fourth. Take a 2-0 lead. Dodgers tied it in the fifth. An RBI ground outs and they took the lead in the seventh. Two solo shots themselves. So breaking balls waved out.
That one at 70 miles an hour.
Ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful night. It's cooled down considerably. Next 2 games will be at Dodger Stadium. 7 o'clock starts.
That Shoemaker against Rich Hill tomorrow night.
Angels Live will kick things off at 6:30. Utley over at first base. Foul back. 8 hits for the Dodgers, 5 for the Angels. Called strike 3, 2 down.
Talk about speed differentials in that at bat. The Farmer against Morales, 70-mile-an-hour curveball. That's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Differential 20 miles an hour. Is painted right on the outside corner for the call third strike.
So Andrew Tolles will come up. Swing and a miss. Tolles 2 seasons ago, 48 games with the Dodgers. Last year, 31. One ball and strike. Kenley Jansen getting ready. Maldonado, it's a crossed up.
Pretty good change up there.
Yeah.
Has to try to throw a fastball here away after a slow curveball in this batting against Tolles and a changeup.
That's a swing and a miss. Down goes Tolles. So that leadoff single by Chase Utley stranded at first. But at the bottom of the 8th inning, Halos down by 2.
bottom of the 8th inning. Stay tuned for Angels Live. We're going to take a look at what happens here tonight with Zach Cozart. 4th home run of the spring. He wastes no time. First AB here at the Big A. And for sure, we know one thing too. He is laying that bat on back shoulder and wasting no time getting on top of that one. Down that corner and left field, out of the reach of one Jock Peters. How about a rare, confusing, and rare delayed up steal at third base? Yes, Ian Kinsler. Okay, 2 strikes. I'll take it. That's another steal for him. And how about that short wall now? From 18 feet to 8 feet. Yellow line already a difference maker as Yasiel Puig hits a home run. It's all coming up here after the game on Angels Live. Victory Marcos, all you.
Thanks a lot, Jose. Kenley Jansen takes over on the bump, facing Chris Carter, who's pinch hitting for Luis Valbuena. Another stellar season for Jansen. 65 games, 5-0. 1 blown save. 41 of 42.
Good job by Jose Mota and Terry Smith all spring training long down there in Arizona calling the games. Working the post-game shows.
Two balls and a strike on Carter. 23rd game with the Angels this year. 282 average throughout the spring. 3 home runs. 8 runs batted in. Two. Anderson Simmons on deck, then Martin Maldonado, unless they make a change for Maldonado. Called strike 3. Down goes Carter. Fastball right down Broadway. 1 down.
A lot of swing and misses, non-contact pitches for Jansen throughout his career. Fastballs, cutters, a lot of them, occasional slider. Not a lot of appearances in spring training this season so far after all that work last year. Just looking at the velocity on the fastball, 89-90. Going to see Jansen settle in around 95, 96, 97 with his fastball.
Handles it tonight 0 for 2.
That's the great ratio between walks and strikeouts throughout his career.
Over to third. 2 down. Play by Farmer. So Maldonado will bat here. Third plate appearance of the night. He's 0 for 2 thus far. Two balls, no strikes. Nobody's warming up for the Angels, so I guess Morales will come back out for a third. It's a lot of arms and legs coming at you.
Talk about deception.
And a little hesitation.
Former position player.
Catcher. Oh, quick pitch.
to it too. 87-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. Quick pitch to him. I figured he got to get ready for Johnny Cueto with the Giants coming up in that series, the Dodgers.
Renato skies this one on the first base side, headed toward the seats.
Tried to catch that and still hold a conversation, that thing. Multitasking.
Yeah, trying anyway. It's good effort. Trying to hold up. He does so. Maldonado shoots one out toward right. A base hit with 2 outs. A 3-2 pitch.
Career highs in every category last season on the offensive side and defensive side. Gets that cutter, didn't try to do a whole lot with it, didn't try to pull it. Serves that in the right center field for a base hit for Martin Maldonado. Good at bat.
Nolan Fontana takes over as the pinch runner at first. Here's Fletcher. Looking to strike. Fletcher, what a spring he's had. 327, 3 doubles, a triple, 6 runs batted in. Numbers between Double-A, Triple-A last season.
Uses the whole field very well, Fletcher.
Makes this one foul and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 8th. Dodgers with a 4-2 lead. Howard gets away. Barnes could do it. Scampering to second as Fontana. Wild pitch.
This is the exact situation where Fletcher has been so good the entire spring, especially when you have a pitcher with a lot of those cut fastballs out over the plate to punch that ball in the right center field.
Another wild pitch that put Fontana over third. Trout waits on deck. Should the inning continue. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jansen ready, 2-2. Almost got to chase it.
very difficult pitch not to chase as a hitter. A cut fastball upstairs like that.
In protect mode. Fletcher chases. And the 8th is in the books. 4-2 Dodgers as we head to the 9th. Friday, coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with LA Kings live on KCOP and Ducks live on Prime Ticket.
Playoff push for both teams. Very tight.
Very tight. Trace Thompson to lead things off. Morales out for his 3rd inning of work. Thompson, one of those guys that are out of options. Dodgers need to make a decision on. Looks like the Angels need to make a decision on Carlos Perez, also out of options. No balls, 2 strikes.
Such a talented player, Trace Thompson, if he could stay healthy. At one point, at Santa Margarita High School, a very good pitcher also, could bring in the upper 90s.
One ball, 2 strikes. New catcher for the Angels, Jose Brasino. Roman Fontana, who pinch ran, stays in the game. He's at short. Call strike 3, 1 down. Gavin Lux coming up. This will be his first plate appearance. Lux, the Dodgers' first round pick, 2016 at Indian Trail High School in Wisconsin. A-ball last year. 244 with 7 home runs, 39 runs batted in.
Out in front of that slow curveball at 71.
Full count. One out here in the ninth inning. Dodgers leading it 4-2. Second walk issued by Morales to go with 4 strikeouts and 3 hits allowed. It's 2+ innings.
Wells now getting the call down to the bullpen now.
Jaron Kendall batting in the cleanup spot now. Big lead for Lux over at first.
It looked like he was leaning to try to steal a base.
He went around. Ball at a strike. Tomorrow night it'll be Matt Shoemaker's turn on the mound, getting the start. Rich Hill will go for the Dodgers. Two balls, 1 strike. On Tuesday night, Jun Ryu on the mound for the Dodgers. J.C. Ramirez going for the Angels to wrap up this freeway series.
JC has really thrown the ball well this spring. One of those counts too, good action count for Dave Roberts to put on here for the Dodgers. And so she's sensing that, the pick off throw the first.
Three and one. .58 pitches so far from Morales. Jake Peter on deck. So the flux goes. Lux on the move. 3-2 is ball 4. That's a pretty good pitch. Right down the middle for ball 4. So it's first and second with 1 out. Back-to-back walks. Take a look at that last pitch.
That's right on that outside part of the plate. A lot of the outside part of the plate.
Oh, we got ourselves a pitching change here in the 9th inning with 1 out, a couple of men on. Dodgers up by the score of 4-2. SoCal native Adam Hofack comes on to trying to finish off this 9th inning, get the Angels back in the dugout, give them an opportunity. Man, 24 years of age, born in Riverside, Santiago High School in Corona, then Cal Baptist. 10th round pick by the Halos in 2015. He's going to face Nick Peter. Took over as a pinch runner for Matt Kemp in the 7th inning. This will be his first plate appearance. Seventh appearance for Hofack this spring. 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits. Pardon me, 7 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Peter looks at a strike. Lux at second, Kendall at first.
Sink action on that fastball.
Tight zone tonight. Evens up the count. Two check swing. He did not go. Full count. Robinson's on deck.
Both base runners on the move here. 3-2 count, 1 out.
there's ball 4, so they're loaded up. So make that 3 consecutive walks. Errol Robinson will come to the plate. Broken bat, little flare towards short, little one-hopper to Fontana, touches the base, fires to first base. They turn the double play. Heads up play by Fontana.
Real good. Reading that too. The base runner is going to be hesitant going, made catch in the air, ends up being able to see a 6-3 double play to finish off the inning by Fontana.
Josh Fields takes over on the mound for Kelly Jansen. Pitched the scoreless 8th inning, and Fields will try to wrap this one up for the Dodgers in the opener of the Freeway Series. 57 games last year, 5-0 to 2.84 ERA. Big arm.
Firm fastball. Saw him pitch the other day in Camelback Ranch against the Angels. Well, many a times with the Astros also.
Eric Young Jr. coming up to lead things off for the Angels. This is Trout's spot in the order. Young, Hermosillo, and Marte. Why it takes a strike. Oh, what a spark plug he was last year for the Angels.
Already a fan favorite too. He's had a pretty solid spring again.
Oh, you look at that. With a cap, blankets.
Trying to stay warm.
Oh,
a little cool here tonight.
Chilly. No yawning. 0-2. Upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Four runs, 8 hits, 11 left on for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 men left on for the Angels tonight. Bouncer down the line, glove by Utley. It's a fair ball. Nice play by the veteran. 1 down.
Former second baseman.
And first base, good range there for Utley. Good feed over to Fields, cover the bag. Going back to my Hyundai key for this game. Goes back in the saddle again. Chance to play at the Big A at a night game, away from that Arizona environment. The players all excited about that. We get 2 night games now coming up at Dodger Stadium before going up for a day game on Thursday against the Oakland A's.
Michael Hermosillo took over in right field. Four for 29 this spring. Watch out.
And as you can see, that's that up and in fastball, especially after a breaking ball. First pitch. That foot down, looking away. Fastball up and in, just. It's the helmet.
Two 1 count, big rip. Coming up empty.
Hermosillo, another one of those young, talented players in the farm system now for the Angels. A ton of them.
That'll leave it up the count.
Let's see Torrey Hunter Jr. get a base hit yesterday. Brandon Marsh at third base, who tripled.
He could run a little bit, by the way.
Yeah,
Torrey Jr.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 9th. Home runs tonight by Zach Kozart, Mike Trout. For the Dodgers, Taylor and Puig. 4 solo home runs hit tonight. Foul back. Jeffrey Marte on deck.
Dino Weeble with the play. Now back at third base.
Yep.
Bench coach last couple of seasons. Ron Renicky moved on to Boston. Dino Weeble back at third. The aggressive third base coach, Dino Weeble.
Popped up right up the elevator chute. Utley has to come in down. He'll make the play finally. 2 down. That thing was up to forever.
That's one of those ones that almost looked like Fields was going to have to call him off to make the play. Generally, a pitcher will run out of the way. This is direct traffic.
There's Jeffrey Marte with 2 outs in the 9th. His first plate appearance of the evening. Jeffrey, as we were talking about an inning or so ago, talking about players out of options. Marte is one of those players. More than likely make the ball close. This was hit towards short. 1 hopper. Should do it. The Dodgers take the opener of the Freeway Series tonight, the final of 4-2.
Some solo shots late there for the Dodgers. The difference in the game. Good swings with Cozart and Trout. Parker Bridwell, solid third inning. End up going 3 shutout innings as the Dodgers win this one, 4-2.
Most important thing, Gooby, is the fact that now you're 2 games away from starting the regular season and no injuries tonight. I think that's the biggest key, is that you stay away from the injury bug as you get closer and closer to opening day. Tomorrow night it'll be Matt Shoemaker going up against Rich Hill. And then on Tuesday night we wrap up this Freeway Series. J.C. Ramirez will be on the mound with Ryu going for the Los Angeles Dodgers. 4-2 the final. The Dodgers pick up the victory tonight, and we got a little post-game interview as we have had all spring. And tonight it is Dino Ebel, the Angels' third base coach. He is down on the field with Alex Curry. Alex.
Dino, I know everyone's happy to be back here playing at the Big A under the lights, but when you look back at what this team did during spring training, are you happy with what you guys accomplished and where the team's at right now?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we've had a good spring. We got all our work in, pitching staff, all the infielders, outfielders. Everything's in place. The guys got a lot of reps, so we're excited to be back home and get this season going.
And you've moved around quite a bit with this team. What are your thoughts on returning to third base?
Oh, it's great. You know, there's the action down there, and, you know, get one more point than the other team, and the guys are doing a great job running through the bases. And, you know, the goal every night is to score as many runs as we can and get this thing going.
There's a lot of power in this lineup. We saw a couple home runs tonight. How fun is it to see the potential that this team has? Oh, absolutely. 1 through 9, we're deep in the lineup, and anybody in the lineup can go deep. So we get some guys on, let those guys do their thing, and it's going to be a fun season to watch. We're excited for the home opener. Thank you for joining us, Dino.
You got it. Thank you.
Well, Dodgers take the first game of this preseason Freeway Series. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back with Jose Mota and Mark Gubazov breaking it all down next on Angels Live.